Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now welcome to a patch note breakdown. So again, we do these, pretty often whenever patch notes happen. For those that like them, you guys generally really like them, which is pretty awesome. And that's kind of what I do the content for. So let's do it. It's patch point 2.22. So we've got a bunch of new skins we'll check out. So this officially is the patch of end of season. The season of Summoner's Rift ends November 29th, midnight basically. So yeah, that is the end of this season. I will be doing a video of like what did I think of the season and how do I feel like my own season went, ranked wise and rating wise. We'll do it like a whole summary. But yeah, end of season. It's always a weird feeling. I don't know if everybody follows that when the end of season comes, because it's like, oh damn, another season. I don't know. Life goes quick, I guess. And also remember, you get victorious Aatrox, regardless if you like it or not, if you're one above gold in any of the queues, and only if also you're on a level 2 or above. Again, shouldn't be difficult considering your account starts on a level 2. So yeah, right. Actual patch, champion changes and new things. Senna is coming to the game. So as usual, the champion's on the patch tomorrow. Will she be released tomorrow? There's a chance. Sometimes, and again, just to explain why the reasoning behind patch comes out, why isn't the champion available instantly? Sometimes they don't enable the champion instantly because just to check that it's not like technically broken. When you're implementing a new champion to the game, it can break things. So yeah, usually they just try to make sure everything's fine before they officially go, right, they're out. Again, can just be a couple hours. Sometimes from memory it's been a 1 or 2 day delay, but Riot's got better at that over the years, it seems. Ashe, W cost increased. Volley is now going up to 70 mana, was 50. That is kind of considerable. Again, put it into perspective. For every 3 volleys you cast now, it's costing an extra 60 mana. So before, you would have been able to cast 4 volleys for every 3 now, technically. So that is actually kind of a big nerf. But yeah, I can understand why. Ashe, obviously, I don't see as a great solo queue pick. Worlds, again, pro play's a bit different. Solo queue, she's immobile. Her damage isn't as good as others, potentially. And she has to risk herself a lot more. No mobility, low range. But she does have annoying poke in lane due to the volley. So I guess, they just thought that was too much. Rocket grab of Blitzcrank. Q base damage decreased. I don't think this really matters, if I'm honest. It's more of a utility spell than damage spell, so it being nerfed 30 damage in late game is, negligible. Obviously, he got a big buff with the rocket grab being 100 extra range not even that long ago. So I don't even see, even if you are a Blitzcrank player, I doubt you're kind of that salty about this nerf. Do I think it's needed? Probably not. Do I think it matters? Not really. So it's just kind of one of those changes that it's whatever. Their data must have been telling them that, oh, Blitzcrank Q is just doing slightly too much damage, which, okay. Ivan. So there is quite a lot of controversy when it comes to Ivan, by the way, in the game. A lot of Ivan people are not happy with what they did. From what I can tell, that obviously they made his auto attacks permanently ranged now, where before he used to have to stand in a bush to enable it to be ranged. It's now permanently ranged. And yeah, I've heard a lot of people aren't that happy about it. I've also heard it's coded weird that, in some instances, a ranged attack is different to a melee attack in what it damages. So I can't remember exactly the example, but it was something on the lines of like a Shaco box or something, that a ranged attack does something different to a melee attack, and Ivan's attack right now is still coded as melee, even though it's now ranged. So he wasn't benefiting with that. So I don't know if there's going to be a bug fixes went live. So maybe that got fixed, but that is something that I did hear. His actual change though is Q. Ivan will now always dash into melee range of the target. So even though he's got a ranged auto attack, I think that was a complaint from people going, no, we want to be next to people, I guess, to slow them with his shield, maybe, where, the shield range might not have been, the slow boom shield range might not have been in range with his auto attack. And also Three's Crowd fixed the bug where Ivan would land inside some jungle cap, would land inside some jungle camps while dashing with his Q, and fix the bug where allies would teleport unexpected locations when Ivan would dash to a rooted target. So if that's the only bug fixes, or maybe they've already fixed the coding when it comes to it is a ranged attack, not melee, but yeah. Kaisa. Q missile damage after the first hit decreased. Kind of makes sense, but yeah, non-minion multi-damage hit, so that is against champions. Non-minion, that could be also against Baron and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're directly hitting, let's say, all of your Q missiles are going on an enemy Lucian, for example, it will do slightly less. It will do 5% less damage, I guess, than before. Non-minion multi-missile damage is now 25 instead of 30. So yeah, a slight nerf, but let's be honest, we all kind of agree that Kaisa's one of the strongest champions in the game. Maybe the strongest in the right hands. You know, if you've got a good mobility, good attack moving AD carry player, it's very hard to deal with a Kaisa at all. So yeah, very, very, very difficult. Kalista. W mark duration and bonus damage on marked targets increased. So this is a buff, which is a rare thing to see, because Kalista was in that trifecta a while ago that they said, we are giving up basically balancing these champions. It was Kalista, Ryze, and Azir. The reason why they said that, you cannot, those three champions, you cannot make them balanced and be good for all the ratings in the game. It's literally impossible, because if you make them averagely strong, someone in Challenger that has peak mechanics on an AD carry that can like jump and auto attack perfectly is nearly unbeatable on Kalista. We've seen that in the past. Same goes for Azir and Ryze. Way too good in the hands of a good player. So if you make them weak to make, you know, it less strong in high rating, well, then someone in silver playing it has no hope, obviously, because generally, you know, if you're in silver, play something overpowered to make up for the lack of mechanics or something. Where if you're trying to pull off Kalista in silver, it's generally not going to go well. So that's why they kind of gave up for a while of those three champions. For I'd say about 2 years, they were like, we're done with Ryze, Azir, and Kalista. But it does seem right now, maybe they hired a new designer, developer, balance person, and he's like, I'll take them on, because they are getting a little bit more of attention. I think, you know, obviously Ryze has been a big thing recently. Azir, I think, got a change a couple patches ago, and now Kalista. So yeah. The bonus damage on marked target, by the way, has gotten increased by a fair amount in early game. So the Sentinel bonus passive and all that. It's been doubled in the early game practically, and the mark duration has gone longer, so that should help a lot for lane phase for Kalista players. So I think that's enough to make her, you know, in pro play or anything? Probably not, but yeah, definitely if you are already a Kalista player, you should be very happy with that change. Kael, presuming nerfs. Q damage, Q base damage decreased and W cost increased. So yeah, 2 nerfs. Base damage has gone down by 10 all the way by 30 in late games. Not ridiculous, but what this might do because of the damage nerfs, you know, recently we even did a video of it. I believe that video would be out or has been out. Is it already out? I've lost track because I've been making so many videos recently. I'm going to quickly check so I'm not an idiot. I think it's already out, right? It came out yesterday of me recording this. We max Q on Kael, and I was like, that's just a strong thing to do. Yeah, it came out yesterday. Cool. This change might make it that you go back to maxing E, maybe. So not a crazy big problem, I would say. And the mana costs, again, going up by 10 at each rank. So just little nerfs. Because, you know, like I mentioned in that Kael episode, I really shouldn't have been able to farm for free as much as I did in that episode. Yeah, it was lower diamond, not high diamond, but I should still have got really punished by that Camille. And I was trading with her in the early game. So I do understand the nerfs. Malphite, our AP ratio decreased. Okay, we think Malphite's tank builds are in a good place, but AP Rock can be really frustrating to play against. So I would say this is very much a low rating nerf, which is fine. You do not see Malphite AP, full AP in high rating. It's just not a thing. I played it in Earth not long ago. That might, I don't know, was that a video? I don't remember. But yeah, he's fun in Earth. It's just not worth playing AP Malphite in high rating. The job of AP Malphite, or Malphite if I'm honest, shouldn't be to do damage. You know, there are certain champions in the league that are built for damage, that are built for tank. Malphite's a fantastic basic tank. Yes, there are better tanks than him, obviously, but if you're picking up the role of tank or your autofill top lane, he's wonderful for that position. And if you're kind of scared of your lane opponent who's, you know, a Renekton or something, he's the armor boy. I'm not a fan of AP Malphite. I think, you know, people know that. I haven't hidden away from that for it, like, you know, at all. But I understand in lower rating it can be a bit of an annoyance. It's the same as Blitzcrank or Master Yi. These are picks that in low rating are even banned, and like people are scared of them, but in high rating it's like just dodge or just CC the Yi. So it's again, it's how the game is different, which I like, by the way. I like that the game is evolving in a different way in the different ratings. Like, there are complete different picks and bans in low rating to high rating, and I think that's actually cool. It's kind of boring if the whole game is the same, and that's because of the player base inherent differences, which I think is really good. And obviously the game, do I think this is bad at all? No. Like, if you're high rating and you play Malphite, you don't care about this because you're playing him tank. Like, it doesn't matter that he's got a slight nerf in damage because you're not playing him for that. And for low rating people who do go, oh god, AP Malphite, then it helps them. So I don't, this is fine. Like, it's a non-issue for me. Nautilus, presuming nerf, he's actually quite strong right now. Our primary target base damage decrease. Yep. So the first target has been nerfed. Wow, that's actually quite a lot. Primary target base damage was 200. It's now 150. Yeah, 50 damage nerf. Wow, that's actually quite a lot. Remember, for a support, 50 damage base is actually a lot of damage to get rid of. That's a pretty big nerf. So, yeah, okay. Again, I do think he's really strong. The weird thing with Nautilus, he's been seen in pro play, and, you know, he's obviously been played in mid in pro play. Don't do that. But in solo queue, I feel like Nautilus hasn't been fully adapted in support. Like, people haven't realised he's really strong. Incredibly tanky, does decent damage in support, by the way, can protect, can attack, engaging amazing, you know, tanky himself, really good pick. Slows CC obviously like crazy. He's fantastic, and I just, for some reason, he has not been like jumped on like a lot of picks do. Like, it's weird. I don't know why, but yeah. Pantheon. So again, Pantheon weirdly had a massive Worlds presence, but I don't think it was basically played ever. Or at least by like the really top teams or whatever. Or no, sorry, in the early group stages, he nearly had, I think it was 100% Worlds representation, either when I think it was mainly in bans. He was banned in practically every game. The reason for it, because I did have a couple messages going, Huz, you don't think it's very good for pro play or strong because early game, blah, blah, blah. Why is it got 100% ban? Why is it prioritized so much in bans? In pro play, again, different to solo queue, they're not picking Pantheon for what you'd obviously pick him for in solo queue, the early game pressure and snowballing. That's, again, when you're in pro play and you're against a world tier top laner, they aren't really going to let you snowball, obviously. You know, Worlds games in the first 20 minutes are crazy if they have over 10 kills. So that's not what you pick Pantheon for in pro play. In pro play, it's his two things. It's E, so the pure, I'm not taking any damage in this certain direction, and the ultimate. Those are the two things you're picking Pantheon for. And, I guess the W, the stun. Those are the things you're picking him for, because it's a utility, amazing communication pick. If you're communicating about a play and you coordinate it really well, yeah, Pantheon can work amazing. You're ulting, you put yourself at risk, you E for your whole team, you're taking all the damage, you can stun things, pick things, ult behind, yeah, that's what it's for. It's not the early game snowball potential, it's that. Like kind of tankish in a way. Where let's see what the nerfs are, because yeah. Right, so minion damage reduction has gone up. So hang on, what? Q minion damage reduction increased. Execute threshold decreased. Oh, okay. And W increased dash speed from boots removed. Oh, so they've actually removed a mechanic. Pantheon's dash speed is no longer increased from boots. So it's just kind of slower now. He does minion damage reduction minions are tankier to his spear than they were before. So they used to take 20% less damage. They now take 30% less damage, if I'm getting that right. So, you know, your little jab, the Q of the spear, you're going to be wave clearing slower. And also your execute is less. It used to be 25%. It did bonus damage. It now only does 20%. So yeah, nerfs all around pretty much for the Pantheon. Again, not really effective. Well, the W, I guess, with the movement speed, because obviously that was the point. Alt, flank, W. So they're getting rid of movement speed, which will hurt him. But yeah, the wave clear, I guess, from his Q has also been nerfed, which that was pretty strong, to be fair. Sejuani, again, not really a champion I've seen a lot of recently. I will say, though, because some people have wanted me to make a prediction of meta in Season 10, I do predict tank meta is going to be at least maybe, if I had to guess right now, pre-season I see tank meta, and maybe if they don't change too much, early Season 10 might be tank meta. You're already seeing it a bit with like the likes of Dr. Mundo and stuff being incredibly strong. Just wait until the likes of other people come through, like Sejuani. So they are buffing her, which is a sign that Riot wants tank meta. Right, so attack damage has been put up by 2. Her health regen has been put up by 0.15, and her attack speed growth has been put up by 0.5%. Compared to what it used to be. So overall, small buffs, which, you know, if you are a Sejuani player, you will notice. The Q also used to be a 0.6 AP ratio. It's now, no, sorry, it used to be 0.4. It's now 0.6. And it's doing more damage starting at rank 2. These are buffs. And then they also fixed the bug. Passive now properly resets its debuff duration when reapplying a max stack. So I think that's a buff, as it, you know, it used to be a bad thing for Sej. Overall, all buffs for her, really. Riot does, I do think, want tank meta, which, you know, fair enough. Silas, so a champion that they obviously nerfed to the ground because he did kind of take over for a while. Will he now have buffs to make him kind of come back? Again, that's the pattern that Riot generally does. Something's really oppressive and overpowered, mega nerf it, and then buff it a little bit. So you mega nerf it to kind of cut people out playing it. And, you know, apart from the one tricks and mains, you get rid of like the casual player going, oh, he's good at the moment, I'll play him. You get rid of those, you keep with the mains and the one tricks, and then you buff it a little bit. And then, yes, some people will pick it back up, but not everybody. That's the idea. They did this with Akali as well. Health regen has gone up by 2. Health regen growth has gone down by 0.1. Magic resist has also gone up by nearly 3, so that's quite considerable. The W and as well has been buffed. It's now 10 mana less a level across the board. So small buffs, but like I mentioned, what did I just say? What's Riot's pattern? Mega nerf something, then slightly buff it, see how that goes, just make sure it's not broken, and then yeah. Also will say, if things got a little bit orange, my night light, because I'm recording this at 8:30 at night, just came on my computers to turn them, my monitors orange. I just turned that off, just so you're all not really confused if that did happen. Thresh, E width changed on base and all skins. Oh, interesting. We went through and adjusted the width of Thresh's E on all his models, since it was inaccurate and not the best representation of his hitbox. Oh my god, yes. Like, sometimes you just got hit, you're like, eh? So now it is properly displaying when you get flayed, the width of the flay, like the kind of rectangle that comes up when he does it, that will now be more obvious. And, you know, if you get hit by it, it'd be like, okay, yeah, I was in it. Where before, sometimes, you know, it's the same with hooks. You know, there are certain hooks like Thresh hook or Morgana bind. You're like, I did not get hit by that. I do think Riot should do this more, so it's nice to see. Because, yeah, the hitboxes in League of Legends are old, man. If you ever have seen the difference between, I think it was Counter-Strike. When Counter-Strike updated their hitboxes, I believe it was that game, it was ridiculous how much, like, difference it was. So the old hitboxes, when you think of a soldier, like a man, it was very blocky, and, like, there were instances, like, they had the head as just a square, and if you got hit, like, not even on your face, it would count as a headshot, right? Because it's like, they updated the hitboxes to be perfectly as the man. And then, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh my god, this is so different. There, people were finding they were less accurate because they weren't technically hitting before, because it was like, you know, blocky. Where when it's really accurate, that's better for competitive integrity. So I would love if Riot went through all the, well, really every champion, but especially the ones that are a bit Morgana, Thresh Q, so they did the flay but not Q, Lux Q sometimes, all the hooks I'd say would be worth it, because yeah, sometimes it's a bit sus. Xerath, even I'm an occasional good Xerath player, I guess, Xerath has problems with that. Like, his Q goes longer than what his Q displays. And 100%, like, it's a tiny bit longer than what you're winding up, and you're like, okay, that hit, sure, I'll keep quiet about that. But yeah, I do think it's worth them potentially doing. And then the last one, apparently, is W bonus damage for Xayah has been decreased for a nerf. So of AD carries, they have nerfed Kaisa, they've nerfed Xayah, and they buffed Kalista. I think that's all from memory. So again, maybe there'll be a bit of rotation in AD carry soon. They're going to just test the waters. Oh, and Ashe as well, nerf. So yeah, they've nerfed 3 AD carries and buffed 1. I don't think that's enough to kind of flip it completely. But yeah, a lot of bug changes. Not going to go through them all. Upcoming skins, though, a lot of stuff. True damage Yasuo. True damage Akali. True damage Echo. True damage Kiana. True damage Senna. And then you got the Louis Vuitton Prestige Edition. So literally, I'm not even kidding if you haven't heard, this is a Louis Vuitton partnership that Riot had, and a lot of people I saw were really confused, like, where did this come from? So if you're unaware, in Worlds, which obviously the final is coming up this weekend, Riot had a partnership with Louis Vuitton to design and build, I guess, again, there's a few things that they did. I think the case for the trophy, I'm not sure, they might have helped design the trophy this year, but I don't think so. I think that, you know, like the trunk, the display trunk that you can put the case in to transport it and keep it with, that's a Louis Vuitton trunk. I know that. And they might have helped design, you know, like all the look, or the golden and marbly look. I think they helped do that too. And then also part of it was, hey, do you want one of your fashion designers to design a skin? And that's what they did. So yeah, this is if you are familiar with Louis Vuitton as the brand, this is their general pattern that they have on all their bags and suitcases and stuff like that. So that, again, I love that. You know, not Louis Vuitton, but having a real world partnership with a massive company like that, it gives, again, more recognition to League. One of the things that hurt me deep, man, was, again, well, it's not really a spoiler, I guess, but in Endgame, Avengers Endgame, the biggest movie of all time, Fortnite is in that movie. Literally, like, you know, Thor is playing it with the two Nimrods, you know, the Rock and the Bug. They're playing Fortnite. And it's like, I wish that was League, you know, a little bit. So having more recognition in the real world, I think what it does is it makes video games more normal. You know, video games compared to even when I was a kid is a lot more accepted. It's a lot more normal. But we probably still have a ways to go. When I was at League 10, and sorry for the slight tangent, when I was at League 10, they played an opening clip of showing what League of Legends is to a lot of people. So they showed the arenas and people cheering, but then they also showed the opposite, and they were trying to prove that it's real, that they had people like Jimmy Kimmel, that chat show host, was like saying, how do people watch people playing video games? How is that a thing? How is that real? You know, how do people do that? You had a guy on ESPN going, oh, you know, these aren't, you know, competitors. Why are they on a sports channel? And then you had then the flip side of, like, you know, comparing, I guess, League to traditional stuff, and the roar of the crowd, the stage, the atmosphere, the players' intensity. Yeah, it's not, we're not running 100 meters, but it's as intense. It's growing, I think, in the world of people recognizing that. But we have still ways to go, and obviously these partnerships, I do think, help. You know, they generally do. So I don't know, in the Louis Vuitton stores, are they going to have like a little poster of this? I doubt it. Let me know if you go to a LV store relatively soon, and if they've got one, or feel free to ask a sales rep, oh, do you know about the Kiana skin? And if they have a complete on their face, then yeah. And also worth noting, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, it is, I think, Akali is the upcoming League partner skin. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. Let me just, what I'm going to do, because we might give away some of them in this video as a thank you for making it to the end, for those of you that are good. I'm going to just quickly check on one of my partnership Discords, because I'm pretty sure someone posted about it a few days ago. Got people have been talking a lot, apparently. But yeah, right, I can't find it, unfortunately. I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure. So what I will say, regardless, I'm 95% sure it's True Damage Akali is the League Partner giveaway. Now, some people go, isn't it Echo because he has the extra? maybe also. Whatever one it is, I do know we're getting one. If you want to enter to win it, whatever it may be, throw a like on the video, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. Obviously, that is for North America and Europe, EU West, EU Northeast. They are EU West codes, but if you're EU Northeast, you can talk to Riot Support to get it claimed on your account. Just do that, enter, and yeah, we will confirm which one that is. But I, by the way, should get those codes in the next few days, because obviously the patch is, of me recording this, the patch will be, well, it's coming tomorrow, but of this video coming out, it would be out by now. It would be today. But yeah, that's going to be the video though, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Overall, what do I think of the patch? Well, it's just a small little patch. That is just a little bit of balance changes. Also worth noting, if you are interested in TFT, I'm not going to do the whole thing, you know, the whole, I don't do TFT patch notes, but TFT Set 2 is out right now as well. So they are separating the seasons a little bit. So TFT, is, I guess, Season 2 is out now, and obviously pre-season is starting for us of League of Legends in just over, well, roughly 2 weeks. So, yeah, that's going to be it though, folks. If you guys did enjoy, throw a like on the video, throw a subscribe, again, enter, comment. I'm, again, pretty sure it is a Kali, but I'll see you guys next time. See ya.